Take a deep breath. This script is designed to capture that reflective, grounded tone you've shared, optimized for an AI voice to deliver it with the right weight and rhythm. Narrative script, the power of small decisions. Start by taking a deep breath for a moment. Not to escape the world, but to reconnect with yourself. In the midst of so much information, demands, and distractions, few people stop to reflect on something essential. How small daily decisions are silently shaping the course of their lives. Most people believe that great changes require extraordinary events, when, in fact, transformation is usually born from simple choices, made consciously and consistently. Napoleon Hill dedicated much of his life to studying people who achieved significant accomplishments in different areas. He didn't find a magic secret, nor an instant formula. What he identified was a pattern. Successful people think differently before they act differently. Everything begins in the mind. Before any external result, there is an internal decision, often silent, almost imperceptible. In many cases, what separates a person who moves forward from one who remains stagnant is not talent, luck, or circumstance. It is the willingness to improve a little bit every day. It's not about perfection, nor radical changes. It's about progress. A small but steady advancement that, over time, creates a powerful cumulative effect. Subscribe to the channel to master your mindset every single day. Leave a like if you are making the commitment to step out of autopilot today. Click the link I've left in the first comment below to access the 1-minute prayer and activate your purpose for 2026. A huge part of the world lives waiting for the perfect moment. They wait for more time, more money, or that sudden spark of motivation to finally arrive. But Napoleon Hill warned us that this waiting is an invisible trap. The truth is, the perfect moment is a myth. What we actually have is the now, and the courage to act with whatever tools we have in our hands today. Daily discipline isn't about being hard on yourself or living a life without joy. It's about alignment. It's the quiet act of choosing, every single day, to honor the person you want to become. It's what you do when the room is empty, when no one is clapping, and when the results are still hidden beneath the surface. Hill believed that our habits craft our character, and our character dictates our destiny. Small actions, when repeated, become patterns. These patterns eventually become who we are. Real transformation doesn't happen on a stage, it happens deep inside. Since we are talking about small choices that change everything, I want to hear from you. What is one small habit you've been wanting to start, but were waiting for the perfect time to begin? Let's talk about it in the comments. Another essential teaching is about mental focus. The human mind is incredibly powerful, but it can also be easily scattered. Many people allow their thoughts to be guided by fears, doubts, and past experiences. Without realizing it, they repeat internal scripts that limit their possibilities. Napoleon Hill taught that the mind must be trained, just like a muscle. What you think about frequently tends to influence your decisions, your emotions, and consequently, your actions. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or living in denial. It means consciously choosing where to place your attention. When focus stays only on difficulties, energy dissipates. When focus stays on learning and solutions, new possibilities begin to emerge. Consistent progress requires clarity. Clarity about what you want to develop, improve, or build. You don't need all the answers. It is enough to have a direction. A purpose, even a simple one, is enough to guide small daily actions. Napoleon Hill called this a definite purpose. A clear intention that guides choices over time. As the days pass, small improvements begin to accumulate. A little more organization. A little more attention. A little more discipline. At first, almost no one notices. Sometimes, even you won't notice. But internally, something begins to shift. Confidence grows silently, built from the commitments you keep with yourself. This is the point many underestimate. Self-confidence doesn't come from grand speeches or monumental moments. It is born when a person does what they said they would do, even in the simplest tasks. Each small victory reinforces the identity of someone who moves forward, learns, and evolves. Throughout this journey, we will explore how this process happens in practice. How the mind, habits, and daily decisions connect. How continuous progress, inspired by the teachings of Napoleon Hill, can be applied realistically and sustainably. Not as an instant promise, but as a possible path for growth over time. And it all begins right here. Not tomorrow. Not when everything is perfect. But in this very moment, with the choice to take the next small, conscious step. When a person decides to take that next small step, something important happens internally. They stop seeing themselves as someone who merely reacts to circumstances, and they begin, however subtly, to see themselves as someone who chooses. This shift in perception is profound. Napoleon Hill taught that human beings act according to the image they build of themselves. And that image is not formed by words, but by repeated actions. Many people believe they need to feel confident before they act. However, experience shows that, in most cases, confidence arrives after the action. Every time you keep a small promise to yourself, even a simple one, your mind records that experience as evidence of capability. Bit by bit, this evidence accumulates, strengthening the belief that you are capable of moving just a little further. Another essential principle is persistence. Hill observed that people who achieve significant things are not those who never face obstacles, but those who keep going even when difficulties arise. Persistence is not blind stubbornness. It is the ability to adjust your path without abandoning your direction. It is understanding that challenges are part of the process, and not signs of failure. Often, progress feels slow. Results don't appear at the speed we expect. It is exactly at this point that most people give up. Not because they aren't capable, but because they interpret the absence of immediate results as a sign that nothing is working. Napoleon Hill warned that this is one of the greatest deceptions on the path of personal growth. Growth happens silently. Just as a seed grows beneath the earth before breaking the surface, internal development happens before it becomes visible. During this period, discipline and consistency are more important than motivation. Motivation fluctuates. Discipline sustains. This section is essential because it moves from action to environment and internal dialogue. Explaining how we talk to ourselves determines how we see our power. Here is the English version for your AI narration, with the rhythmic pauses included. Narrative script, the mental environment and the power of choice. Another fundamental aspect is the mental environment. The ideas, conversations, and content a person exposes themselves to daily, directly influence their way of thinking. Hill emphasized the importance of guarding what you allow into your mind. Not as isolation from the world, but as a conscious choice. What you consume mentally tends to shape your expectations and your decisions. This includes your internal dialogue. Many people speak to themselves more harshly than they would to anyone else. Without realizing it, they reinforce limitations through repetitive thoughts. When this pattern is questioned and replaced by more constructive questions, something begins to shift. Instead of asking, "Why does this always go wrong?" the question becomes, "What can I learn from this situation?" This shift in questioning completely changes the direction of the mind. Napoleon Hill taught that the mind answers the questions it receives. Negative questions tend to generate limited answers. Constructive questions open space for solutions, learning, and growth. It isn't magic. It is mental direction. Over time, this way of thinking directly influences behavior. You begin to act with more intention. You begin to organize your time better. You define priorities with more clarity. You learn to say no to distractions that once seemed harmless, but were consuming your energy and focus. Small decisions begin to align with larger goals. It is important to understand that this process does not require perfection. There will be productive days and less productive days. What sustains progress is continuity. One day off rhythm does not erase the path already traveled. The problem arises only when a slip turns into quitting. Hill reinforced that failure only becomes permanent when a person decides to stop trying. As daily discipline strengthens, the perception of control increases. You begin to realize that, even if you don't control everything happening around you, you can control your responses, choices, and attitudes. This realization is liberating. It reduces anxiety and increases a healthy sense of personal responsibility. Responsibility, in this context, does not mean guilt. It means recognizing your own power of choice within the circumstances available. It means understanding that every small, conscious action is an investment in your future. Napoleon Hill saw time as a great ally for those who learn to use it with intention. As days, weeks, and months pass, the cumulative effect of these small choices begins to become more noticeable. Clarity increases. Confidence strengthens. The vision of the future becomes more defined. Not because everything is solved, but because you have learned to trust your own process of growth. And it is exactly here that progress stops being just a concept and starts becoming a real experience. An experience built step by step, decision by decision, thought by thought. Continuous progress does not require haste. It requires constancy. It requires the willingness to keep learning, adjusting, and moving forward. Each intentional step reinforces a life aligned with your values. And as this process takes root, it becomes clear that true growth isn't found in occasional giant leaps. It is found in the silent sum of small decisions, made every single day. This final segment serves as a perfect core summary of the entire philosophy. It moves from the internal patterns to the practical, mastermind, concept and concludes with the idea of directed thinking. Here is the English version for your AI narration, formatted with rhythmic pauses. Narrative script, the pattern of success. What Napoleon Hill discovered while studying hundreds of successful people was not a mystical secret or an unreachable talent. He noticed a pattern. People who build consistent results think differently, even before they act differently. They understand that the outside world responds, sooner or later, to what is cultivated internally. Most people live in a state of reaction. They react to circumstances, to the opinions of others, to fear and doubt. But the individuals who move forward learn to respond with intention. They choose their thoughts with care, because they know that repeated thoughts turn into habits, and habits shape destinies. Napoleon Hill taught that all progress begins with a definite purpose. Not just a vague wish, but a clear direction. When you know where you are going, your daily decisions gain power. You begin to say no to distractions that once seemed harmless, and yes to small actions aligned with your goals. Perhaps you felt this before. That feeling of being busy, but not productive. Lots of effort, but very little progress. Hill warned exactly about this. Movement is not progress. Working without direction only creates exhaustion. True advancement is born when the mind and action walk together. And here is a crucial point. No one maintains absolute focus all the time. Even the most disciplined people face doubts, insecurities, and moments of discouragement. The difference is, they do not allow these temporary states to define their permanent decisions. Hill spoke of persistence as a trainable skill. Persisting doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, but continuing even when the initial enthusiasm fades away. It is in that moment, when the excitement leaves, that most people quit. And it is exactly there that results begin to form for those who stay. Every day offers small choices. Waking up a few minutes earlier. Reading a few pages instead of scrolling aimlessly. Planning the day instead of reacting to it. These decisions seem too simple to change a life. But Hill demonstrated that it is precisely their sum that separates those who advance from those who stay in the same place. Another central teaching is the control of the mind. The mind accepts as truth whatever you repeat with emotion and frequency. This is why your environment matters. The conversations you hear, the content you consume, and the people you spend time with directly influence your way of thinking. Hill called this the mastermind alliance. Being surrounded by ideas that lift, challenge, and expand your vision. When you are constantly exposed to limiting thoughts, you end up adopting those limitations as your own. But when you choose content that strengthens your mindset, you begin to see possibilities where you once saw barriers. This is not about naive positive thinking. It is about directed thinking. Thinking with clarity, acting with consistency, and adjusting the path whenever necessary. Success, according to Hill, is a constructed process, not a sudden event. If at any point you feel that you are moving too slowly, remember this. Real growth is almost never visible in the short term. Just as a seed grows in silence before breaking through the earth, the most solid results are being formed even when no one is looking. Keep going. Keep adjusting. Keep learning. Because when the mind changes, the path changes. And when the path changes, the results inevitably follow. There is a specific moment in the journey of anyone who decides to grow. It is when they realize they can no longer depend on motivation alone. Motivation comes and goes. It is influenced by mood, by circumstances, and by immediate results. Napoleon Hill made it clear. Those who build something lasting learn to act even when they don't feel like it. Discipline, in this context, is not extreme rigidity. It is a commitment to your own vision. It is doing what needs to be done, even on ordinary days, without applause and without external urgency. The most solid results are born exactly on these silent days. Many people wait for external signs to change. They wait for more time, more money, more confidence, or more certainty. But Hill taught that confidence arises after the action, not before. Each small step taken strengthens the belief that you are capable of moving forward. Another essential point is understanding the role of fear. Fear is not an enemy to be eliminated, it is a sign of growth. Whenever you move towards something new, fear appears. The difference lies between those who obey that fear and those who learn to act in spite of it. Napoleon Hill observed that successful people are not fearless. They simply refuse to allow fear to dictate their decisions. They acknowledge the insecurity, adjust the strategy, and move forward. This behavior, repeated over time, builds resilience. Then, there is the importance of decision. Weak decisions produce weak results. Constant indecision drains mental energy and creates stagnation. Hill stated that leaders and achievers decide quickly and adjust when necessary, while the majority hesitates, waits, and loses opportunities. This doesn't mean acting impulsively, but acting with enough clarity to avoid getting stuck in analysis paralysis. Thinking is important, but thinking without acting creates only frustration. Another powerful teaching is the use of time. Time passes for everyone in the same way, but the value each person extracts from it is different. People who advance treat time as a precious resource. They plan, prioritize, and protect their moments of focus. You don't need more hours in the day. You need more intention in the hours you already have. Even short periods, when used with purpose, produce consistent results over the months and years. Hill also spoke about the importance of constantly reviewing your goals. Not to abandon them in the face of difficulties, but to ensure they remain aligned with who you are becoming. Growing is also about adjusting the route without losing your direction. And remember, no one builds anything relevant without facing periods of doubt. These moments do not mean failure. They are part of the maturing process. The difference is between those who use doubt as a stop sign and those who use it as a learn sign. Every experience, positive or negative, carries a lesson. Hill argued that every setback contains the seed of an equivalent benefit. When you learn to look for that seed, your vision expands, and your entire posture changes. Keep moving forward. Even if the pace is slow. Keep choosing. With intention. Keep training your mind. Because success is not luck. It is daily construction. At some point along the way, you will realize something important. No one goes far alone. Napoleon Hill dedicated an entire chapter to the idea of intelligent cooperation. People who build sustainable results understand the value of learning from others, exchanging experiences, and surrounding themselves with positive influences. This doesn't mean depending on others, but walking together. When you connect with people who share similar values, your vision expands. You begin to see possibilities that once seemed distant. Growth stops being a solitary struggle and becomes a shared process. At the same time, Hill warned about the danger of negative environments. Constant complaining, cynicism, and disbelief slowly erode your confidence. Even without noticing, you begin to absorb these ideas. That is why choosing carefully where you invest your attention is a strategic decision. Not just an emotional one, Another fundamental point is self-confidence built on action. It's not about convincing yourself of something without foundation, but about recognizing your actual progress. Every small victory matters. Every completed task strengthens your perception of competence. Many people ignore their own progress because they are always comparing their behind the scenes with everyone else's highlight reel. Hill reinforced that constant comparison weakens the clarity of your purpose. The only real measure of evolution is who you were yesterday. Mental clarity also requires moments of silence. In a world full of stimuli, deep thinking has become rare. Hill believed that valuable ideas emerge when the mind has space to reflect. Taking time to plan, evaluate, and adjust is not a waste of time, it is an investment. There is also the matter of emotional self-discipline. Reacting impulsively to criticism, frustration, or setbacks only prolongs the problem. People who advance learn to respond with balance. They understand that emotions are fleeting, but decisions create lasting consequences. Napoleon Hill spoke often about the power of habit. Everything you do repeatedly becomes part of your identity. This is why simple habits, like organizing your day, keeping your word, and meeting your commitments, create a solid foundation for larger goals. When these habits are aligned with a clear purpose, progress becomes inevitable. Not fast, not immediate, but consistent. It is also important to accept that the path is not linear. There will be productive days and difficult days. The mistake is not in slowing down, but in stopping. Hill defended consistency over intensity. One step a day, every single day, will always overcome bursts of effort followed by quitting. And as you move forward, something changes internally. The way you see yourself begins to transform. Confidence stops being something you seek on the outside, and becomes something you build within, based on the real evidence of your own effort. This is the point where many realize that success is not just about reaching an external goal. It is about becoming the person capable of sustaining it. Stay in this process. Keep choosing to grow. Keep training your mind to think with clarity, and to act with intention. Because what you build on the inside, sooner or later, manifests on the outside. If you've made it this far, I want to truly thank you. This shows that you are willing to reflect, to learn, and to grow. Few people have the courage to stop, listen, and think deeply about their own lives. The mere fact that you are here says a lot about your mindset. Remember, transforming the way you think is a continuous process. It doesn't happen overnight, but it begins with conscious decisions, repeated every single day. Every video, every reflection, and every small adjustment in your routine strengthens this internal construction, which, over time, will reflect in real results. Subscribe to the channel to master your mindset every day. Leave a like if you are making the commitment to step out of autopilot today. Click the link I've left in the first comment below to access the 1-minute prayer and activate your purpose for 2026. Thank you for walking this path with me. Keep investing in your mind, because it is your greatest asset. I'll see you in the next video.